Hey, it's our friend Brad Lavigne at the Conservative Convention. Hey, what's the NDP doing here?
Well, we're here to observe. We have a number of folks that have come from the party as guests of the Conservative Party of Canada to come and observe, just like there's other folks here from the Bloc and the Liberals. Parties send delegates and guests to each other's conventions, and I was lucky enough to be chosen among our team to come here to Winnipeg and spend a couple of days with my friends in the Conservative Party.
Have the Conservatives been hospitable? Any?
Oh, very nice people. Much hospitality has been shown. No, it's been an interesting convention. Pretty quiet. I think that's probably what the Conservative Party wants. There's no real controversy here. A lot of conservative motions. I think a lot of red meat for the base. Keeping the base happy is always something that Conservatives will probably keep an eye on. But all in all, fairly interesting but uneventful convention.
Now, what would you suggest as red meat issues for the Conservatives from an NDP perspective?
Oh, well, I mean, the speech, of course, from the Prime Minister the other night, talking about how childcare is a plot to replace the family, registration of sex offenders, guns, the classics, all the greatest hits that the Conservative Party would roll out, have been rolled out. Taking a look at some of the motions, obviously, things like opening up further two-tier health care, concern to, obviously, the New Democrats, and obviously many Canadians, but we'll see those policies later this afternoon. But all in all, a lot of red meat on classic Conservative issues.
So what are you looking forward to this afternoon on way of policy?
Well, I'm going to guess that most of the things that have come to the floor have done so because they're likely to get the support of the plenary. So we're going to see probably many things pass. I think that the opening the door to more private health care will be something that's there. I think there's a lot of stuff in the justice, getting rid of the faint hope clause, those kinds of issues I think are probably going to pass. But I think the real issue is how the Prime Minister as well as the Cabinet take the clues from this convention. Obviously, governing parties who have their party policy conventions, do those party policies now become automatically policy of the government, or are they merely guidance? So we'll have to see about that, because of course here in a minority parliament, it's not just up to the Conservative membership as to who's kind of pushing the PM. That's also up to the rest of the parliament.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but nationally and provincially, the NDP, same party? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I spoke to Hugh McFadden yesterday, and he was saying that Gary Doer got elected and essentially has done nothing. It has not really struck at NDP core principles, and has just really run a very milquetoast government, and it hasn't really been an activist as much as perhaps NDP, maybe the brass in Ottawa or those in the grassroots would like. What's your opinion?
Well, huge fan of Premier Doer. He's running an excellent government here in the province of Manitoba. He's got a fantastic team. I mean, just to put it in perspective, Gary Doer recently just won the third majority government in a row. It's the first time for the Democrats in the province of Manitoba. Not only did we win a third mandate within a majority context, but we grew our seats and our popular vote. We're winning seats in the province of Manitoba at the provincial level in regions that we've never won before. A lot of historic firsts in the last campaign. Gary is a pragmatic social democrat. He knows what he believes in. He's providing good, competent government for the people of Manitoba. And there's lots of streams within the Democratic Party, just as there are within the Liberals and the Conservatives. Jack Layton is more like Gary Doer than, say, like Bob Rae was as Premier of the province of Ontario in the early 1990s. So we have a lot to learn from Premier Doer. Premier Doer's always been there for Jack Layton and the federal party, and we look forward to working very closely with the Doer government and with the Manitoba Party. Manitoba Party is a very important component of our federal party. So we're huge fans of Gary Doer, and he's providing excellent governing. And all you have to do is look at public opinion polls, not only the domain polls, but also just the last election.
Now, you mentioned Bob Rae. I'm not going to let you get away from that for a second, because Michael Ignatieff announced his leadership intentions yesterday. And from where I see it, if Bob Rae were to become the leader of the Liberal Party, we would see a polarization of the electorate left and right, and the NDP would get washed over on the left.
Far from it.
Oh, well,
I take issue with that. obviously the Liberal Party has yet again another task before it to figure out what it believes in and who will lead it. This will afford us the opportunity again to provide effective opposition, hold the Harper government to account in Ottawa. But I think what you saw in the last election campaign, it was a very well-run campaign by Jack Layton, one of the largest in our party's history at $20 million. Just a very, very well-run campaign all in all. What I think that the discussion within the Liberal Party is going to be one where it needs to figure out where it goes. Mr. Dion attempted to take the Liberal Party over in more traditional Social Democratic territory, try to occupy a lot of the space that Jack Layton and the Democrats currently hold, and we saw what happened. Historical lows for the Liberal Party of Canada, 26.5%. I believe that is the lowest since the 1950s, and we've seen a seat count. For a party that used to have 110 seats in the last election, they're down now to the mid-70s. So clearly, they're in a crisis of what they believe in. So we'll see, the debate among Mr. Ignatieff and Mr. Ray, whether or not Mr. Ray will be successful in saying, let's make the Liberal Party more like the Democrats, or Mr. Ignatieff, where he's going to say, let's make the Liberal Party more like the Conservatives. I think what you're seeing here is a potential realignment within the Canadian political dynamic, where the center, the Liberal Party occupying the center, is going to have a hard time, I think, finding a unique position or a unique brand for the Canadian electorate. What difference will the next Liberal Party of Canada be from either the Democrats on the progressive left side or from the Conservatives who are attempting to occupy kind of a center-right? We see it in other countries where the center is having a hard time figuring out where its place is and what it's offering to the electorate, particularly in economic hard times. Obviously we're a loud voice for ensuring job protection and pension protection. That's what you're going to hear from Jack Layton in the coming session. And you're also hearing what the Conservatives believe in. So where does the Liberals fit in and all that? And I think the next 6 months, you're going to see the Democrats and the Conservatives fighting over that terrain. And I think the Liberals are in a tough stead because they need to figure out where they fit in all that. And I think by the time May 2009 come around, there might not be much space left for the Liberal Party of Canada. So could it be a realignment? We'll see. But I think we've got a lot of room in our party, in the Democratic Party, to go out and expand more middle class, more suburban voters, women, young people, as well as the ethnic communities. I think you've seen the collapsing of the Liberal coalition with the Conservatives taking more of the ethnic community support at one side, primarily based on moral issues, whereas on the other side, the Democrats have been able to also appeal to those new Canadian communities on issues of pocketbook and issues of affordability, leaving the Liberal Party with a tough spot to be there.
Now, do you think, I've always seen, at least in the last few years in the evolution, I think, and Jamie Heath touched upon this in his book as well, that Conservatives and New Democrats are speaking to the average working family, and but Conservatives are advocating from the right, NDP advocating from the left. Do you see that the Liberals are trying to regain a footing within amongst average hardworking Canadians, or do you think that they're still lost and they still need to figure out what it is that they stand for?
Yeah, well, I think that what both the Conservatives and the Democrats are doing is appealing to some key demographics, some identifiable demographics, as opposed to running on, in the last election campaign in particular, other concepts like country or like, certain traditional Liberal value statements. The Liberals, when they talk about standing up for the middle class, it seems to ring hollow because they usually put other kind of identifiable issues before them. And I think what's happening now is when the economy is in such turmoil, more and more people are going to look for what's in the best interest of their family, making sure that their jobs and pensions are protected. So I think that there's going to be two key prescriptions. One from the left, that Jack Layton is talking about investment, and another one from the right, talking about the state getting further out of the way, less government intervention, and more tax cuts, either personal or corporate. I don't see where the Liberal Party has any room really to grow.
Great. Well, hey, thanks a lot, Brad.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Talk to you later.
Deal.
Bye.